Hey, remember that time that I hit up Scootish, recently partnered Twitch streamer, comedian, actor, really handsome dude, all around great guy, for a place to stay at PAX East 2022, and then ended up staying on an air mattress in a closet for 4 days? Oh yeah, that was this weekend. that was this weekend. That was this weekend. What's up? I just got back from PAX East 2022 in Boston. I had an absolute blast. It was so much fun. Not only was this the first PAX East since the pandemic, this was my first PAX event ever. I had an absolute blast. I had so much fun. I always wanted to attend a PAX event. It just never was really in the cards. I've never lived close enough to one. But now I'm just a short 6-hour drive away. It's actually an amazing weekend. I want to thank E and Scootish for helping get me into this Airbnb. There were tons of amazing people I hadn't seen in a long time, people that I was meeting for the first time. It was an absolute blast. But yeah, PAX was quite the experience. Let me, instead of just explaining it to you, how about I'll show you how it went. I did get to play some games. I watched a lot of games. There were long lines at most of the kiosks to play. All right, here is my list of 8 games that I was most excited about at PAX East 2022. The first one is Arcade Paradise. Now, in Arcade Paradise, you run a laundromat with an arcade in the back room. And so you have to do laundry, you have to clean the toilets, you have to pick up trash, but then you also get to buy arcade machines. And there's a ton of different arcade games that you can go and play, and they're like retro style arcade games. This game had me super excited. It's like an arcade management simulator, but also there's a lot of cool arcade games that you can play that they created for this game. It was neat. We talked to the director of the game, and he was showing us a pre-build on the Switch of the game and showing how it's running. So it's developed by Nosebleed Interactive and published by Wired Productions. It looks like a really, really good time. It's coming to every platform, and it's going to be available. They're shooting for summer 2022. The next game is Elements. It's developed by Wreck-It Games and published by Apogee Entertainment. I mean, I think it's put together by essentially a one-man team. It's a third-person open-world action-adventure RPG. And so it has a lot of vibes of Breath of the Wild, even paragliding and stuff like that. It looks really, really interesting. I'm very intrigued by it because I just beat Breath of the Wild, finally. It's still in early development, so I think it's not going to come out until next year. It was cool. We got to talk to the developer at their booth also. Turbo Overkill, it's like a mixture of Duke Nukem and Cyberpunk. This game has crazy, vibrant visuals. There's no shortage of gore, and it has high energy gameplay. You even have a chainsaw for a leg that allows you to dice up people with your kicks. It's a game I watched a lot of gameplay of, but I didn't actually try myself. I'm gonna download it soon because it's actually available in early access on Steam. It's developed by Trigger Happy Interactive and also published by Apogee Entertainment. One thing that I did notice is there was no shortage of cyberpunk style games, definitely inspired by and taking that vibe, but it's all in different genres. I saw like a tactical RPG, obviously some first person shooters. Next up is Spider Heck. Spiders, laser swords, arena multiplayer. This reminds me a lot of the game Stick Fight, but with lightsabers, wall sticking, and web swinging. It's PvP and PvE, so there is cooperative. The only thing is that it's only local multiplayer. There is no online multiplayer. And then when I was looking through the game after I got home, the developer actually had stated that there are no plans to bring online multiplayer because of the logistics of the speed and physics of the game, that it just works locally best. It looks like a lot of fun. I was watching a lot of gameplay of this game and it looked like a riot. And the good thing is there's a beta available now if you want to check it out on Steam. The next game is Cursed to Golf, which is a 2D golf roguelike, which is very interesting. I was talking with Bob from Wolf Den. We were talking about how much we both like golf games randomly, and he said that he got a really long private demo of Cursed to Golf. So it's developed by Chuhai Labs out of Kyoto, but essentially you have like 3 clubs, a couple balls, and you have to make it through 18 holes without messing up, or else you restart. But there's a bunch of different holes. You just have to keep going till you beat 18 holes. It's like very horror inspired, lots of arcade action, lots of crazy obstacles. So Cursed to Golf is coming out in summer of 2022. So this is an instant buy for me because I am very, very excited about this game. Next up is a game called Curse of the Sea Rats. And it's a Metroidvania, which I have a thing against Metroidvanias, but me and Aaron, Beach Pizza Gaming, were playing this for a while and had a really good time with it. And I like that it's a co-op Metroidvania. Curse of the Sea Rats is developed by P-Toon Studio and published by P-Cube. So there's a band of pirates that are cursed by a sea witch and turned into rodents, and you have to figure out why that happened. What I really liked about Curse of the Sea Rats is it's all hand-drawn animation. It kind of reminds me of like a 90s animated film. There's RPG elements, so you can collect and skill up your characters, and then there's the Metroidvania style maps, and it's non-linear. This one also is only local co-op. There's no online co-op, but if you have something that you want to play together with someone, you can have up to 4 rats. I had a blast with it, so I'm very excited about it. We were talking about when this game is going to make it onto the TYCAST Video Game Book Club. Curse of the Sea Rats is coming later in 2022. There's not an exact release date as of now. It'll be out on everything, on all platforms. The next up, this game is probably the biggest presence at the show in terms of playable demos and lines to play the game. But it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. The game looks beautiful. Anyone that went to arcades in the 90s has memories of playing the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade games. But yeah, it's probably one of the biggest hype games of the year, I feel like, especially in terms of like retro style games. And it's being developed by Tribute Games. So there were several playable stations around PAX, and each one had a very long line. We tried to wait in one for about half an hour before giving up. I was watching a lot of people play it. This is a game I've been waiting for a lot. It's exactly what I want in a modern beat 'em up game. There's still just a 2022 release date, no exact date, but it looks pretty close, so I would be surprised if it's sooner rather than later. The last game on the list of games that I was really excited that I got to see at PAX East 2022 is Trektoyomi, which is it's definitely inspired by Akira Kurosawa. It looks like you're playing in a classic Japanese samurai film. I kept seeing it pitched as a 2.5D Ghost of Tsushima, and it's what it looks like. There's lots of slicing and dicing. The art is beautiful. The black and white presentation looks really, really nice. The animations look absolutely gorgeous. And it looks like you fight both human and supernatural enemies. And I mean, ultimately, it just looks like a beautiful, playable samurai film. The good news, too, is that this game comes out on May 5th, 2022. So that's it could have already passed. So it may be out already, depending on when you watch this. So that's it. Those are the games that there was a ton of games that I didn't even get to look at because of how massive PAX East is. And so if there's something that I missed, let me know in the comments. What of these games that I picked out are you most excited for? I really want to thank Scootish for his hospitality in the Airbnb. It's not easy organizing that many people. I think we had like 12 people in this house. It was a blast. Can't wait for Too Many Games 2022. I'm gonna be out there. Thank you to Aaron, Beach Pizza Gaming, for coming out, driving down, and hanging out on Friday. Thanks to Bob from Wolf Den for chilling pretty much every night. Yeah, can't wait to do it all again. If you see me at Too Many Games, come say hi. It's happening in June. So I'll see you later. Cheers. These are cool. I'm excited.